Conversations. Hope y'all are having a good morning today. I just like to do a show where I'm answering any questions that you may have. Otherwise, I'm just here to pretty much tell you about my experiences in the tech industry, and hopefully that I help you through these trying times. To start off, initially, my background, my educational background is in accounting. I studied finance, accounting. I wanted to get into that industry, and I did get my bachelor's. But being from a small town, being from Killeen, Texas, there's not a lot of opportunities in that field. And I just really came to find out that I didn't really like that. Doing that kind of stuff. It was just insanely boring to me. Attempting to read these accounting books, like I could do a couple of pages and then I'm falling asleep. So, I just started realizing that I would never really be a great accountant. I would never really be successful in that field because I didn't like what I was doing. So, I had to pivot. I had to do something else. Despite the fact that I had a degree in this area, I had to do something else. And that's a big thing for a lot of us. If something's not working for us, if we don't really like it, we have to look into doing something else. The reality is that software is not for everybody. Can you get a job in software and not like it? Sure. But if you don't really care for it, this is going to be a very tough industry for you simply because um, you have to keep learning. You can't take it easy. Like, you can't coast on knowledge that you learned 4 years ago. It's very easy to go obsolete in this industry. So you have to stay on top of your game. Now, before I would have recommended all my friends to get into this industry because, yeah, it was pretty difficult to get in, but it's nowhere near as difficult as it is now. And you could make money like pretty quickly. So I started off like, making $30 an hour, which was way more than I was making before at my first coding job. And then, within like 3 years, I was making it to the six figures. I can't really think of too many other industries where you can make progress that fast. But the main reason I did make progress that fast is because I was dedicated. I really enjoyed what I was doing. And after I got out of work, I would spend a lot more time coding. So if you don't really have that attitude of being persistent, of continually learning, I don't know if I would recommend this industry for you because here's what can happen. You get out of boot camp, you know React, a little bit of Node.js, and you get your first coding job. And yeah, you're doing pretty good at it. You're utilizing all the knowledge you learned at boot camp, but you're not really spending any time outside of work learning. What happens when React goes out of vogue? What happens when some new framework comes and takes its place? So all of that React knowledge is not going to get you the latest and greatest job. It's not going to get you the latest and greatest opportunities anymore. And now you're pretty much stuck doing legacy stuff, which is not going to pay as well as doing the new stuff unless you're doing like really niche, really legacy stuff. And in that case, your job opportunities are limited. So this is why I'm very cautious about recommending people come into this industry because you have to spend a lot of time outside of work learning. And if you're unwilling to do that, um, yes, it can be problematic. So another thing that a lot of people are finding out about this industry is the lack of stability. What this lack of stability means is that you could pretty much get canned at any time. You can get laid off in the blink of an eye, and that kind of goes back to the previous point: is your skill set up to date to where if you get laid off, you can find another job quickly. So after my first job, during my first job, what happened was like I was there for a year. I signed another year-long lease to be able to stay in that area at my apartment complex. And then a little bit after that, they let me go. And that right there, that pretty much taught me that, this industry can be a very cold industry. And I was left scrambling for like 2 years. I'm not 2 years, 2 months looking for my next job. And it was, a very trying time, pretty much what a lot of you are going through right now. I had a year of experience. And as you know, unless you have 2 years and above, recruiters and companies aren't really checking for you. So that pretty much taught me to have the attitude I have now, which is I better grind hard because I better keep my visibility up. I better do all the things I've been telling you about because you can lose your job in the blink of an eye, and nobody will really care. So you have to stay prepared for these layoffs. Like when things are going good, you shouldn't be coasting. You should still be learning. You should still be thinking of how to get ahead. You still should be building up that nest egg. Otherwise, when times like this come where people are losing their jobs, you're gonna be screwed. Now, I've spoken a lot about maintaining your visibility. What does that mean? That means being on platforms like LinkedIn and networking with people, talking to people, posting, sharing information, sharing your projects. Why is this important? Why shouldn't you just code, do a great job, and just enjoy the rest of your life? Well, here's the thing. Nobody knows how great of a coder you are unless you share with them. You can have the greatest hamburger ever, but if you don't market that hamburger, nobody's going to come to your restaurant. So, as you can see now, what's happening is a lot of people who weren't engaged on LinkedIn or in these other job platforms, now that they need a job, they're popping up and they're not getting nearly as much help as they thought they would get, because it's kind of like that friend that, once they find a significant other, they just disappear. And then once they break up, oh, here they come. It's like you're just here because you need something. And you don't really want to put yourself in that position where people think you're just showing up because you need something. They're not really going to be as likely to help you. So how do you really keep your visibility up on LinkedIn? Well, sad to say is you kind of have to learn how to do ad copy. You have to learn to be a marketer. There's a reason that a lot of people on LinkedIn post like sentences with one line. It's because there's an algorithm there, and it's pretty much based on like how much of the reader's attention are you maintaining. If people are just scrolling past your posts, then LinkedIn is not going to continue to promote your posts. It's just going to promote somebody else's post because they're in the ad business. They want to promote the people they believe are bringing other people to this platform. And another thing is you can't really post links in your initial post. Otherwise, LinkedIn is going to deprioritize your post. Why? Because it doesn't want people leaving the platform. No major company wants you to leave their platform and go to another platform. So it's a lot of these little tips and tricks that you need to learn in order to increase your visibility. And what this visibility will do is it will increase your opportunities. Me just posting on LinkedIn and being visible, it's had, me getting potential opportunities to interview with Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, and a bunch of other companies, just because somebody from those companies seen one of my posts and they liked what I was saying. You have an amazing opportunity to showcase your knowledge, your work, etc., and that can lead to a better job or even business opportunities. This is why visibility is so important. Outside of your coding skills, like learning social skills and learning how to market yourself, those are some of the most important skills you can learn. But yeah, I see we don't have too many questions, so I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. But here's one more thing I wanted to say. I've taken a lot of courses. I've studied a lot of the greats. And this is one thing I found. There's no secret formula to success. There's no easy 1, 2, 3 ABC technique you can learn, and that's just going to make you a millionaire. It's not going to happen. It's all about discipline and consistency and gradually improving. Think about exercising. There's no secret technique you can do to make your muscles get huge overnight unless you're taking steroids. You have to continually put in work. And think about this. Even a medium to light workout over time is going to produce greater results than one single heavy workout that you do once every 4 months. So just being consistent, gradually improving, staying disciplined, that's really what's going to make you successful. And you also have to be willing to invest in yourself. You have to, speak to those who, you got to speak to those who really know what they're doing, and they can help you save a lot of time. So Peter Gerald has a question. Do you think Chat GPT and Bard powered chatbots will replace human support staff? Okay, so to that, in the large part, I believe they will, because even at my job, they have this bot that you can speak to and ask questions. Um, a lot of times you go onto these websites of these different companies, and you're not even, it says, do you want to chat with somebody? The thing you're speaking to is not another human, it's a bot. And as you see, as AI becomes increasingly more sophisticated, it's going to start replacing humans. Like, there was a news article recently in which Sports Illustrated started firing a lot of the writers because they're using AI generated articles. So, it's sad to say, but a lot of companies, they're going to start letting people go, so they can switch over to AI, because the difference is they're paying this writer maybe $50, $60, $70,000 a year, whereas they can just get a $45 subscription to Chat GPT and have that AI generate the article. Maybe they're going to have to keep some kind of editor on staff to curate the article and to make any tweaks, but it's going to save them a lot of money. That, as we all know, company's main objective is to make money. And let's just be realistic. They don't really care about us to the extent that they're going to keep our job around versus saving a ton of money and using AI. So you have to really get your skill sets up, or else you're at a potential of using your job. So you might ask, how do you prevent yourself from losing your job to AI? Well, you're going to have to start studying more hardcore, more sophisticated things. As a programmer, I would recommend deep diving into mathematics, data structures, and algorithms. The simple CRUD applications, sites like Wix can generate that stuff. AI can generate that stuff, but really complicated stuff, AI is not able to do that yet. It's pretty much the same thing as always. Your skill set has to be really good. You have to find a way to really integrate yourself into a company. Here's something I learned: like when you go to a company, it's a great thing if they give you a lot of work. A lot of people feel like they get mad if a lot is put on their plate, but the more work that's put on your plate, the more experience you have. The more opportunity you have to prove your competence, and that's really what's going to secure you in that company. If you're the guy who's running the entire, like 50% of the back end by yourself, they're not going to let you go, because if they let you go and something happens, they can lose millions and millions and millions of dollars, because the next person is not going to know how to solve that problem as quickly as you know how to solve it. So this is why on the job, you want to start raising your hand and being proactive about getting experience. You don't want to be that laid back person who kind of waits for the manager to give you your next task. You know, that kind of attitude is really going to put you at a disadvantage. You know, you want to get as much experience as possible. But yeah, on that note, I think it's a good time to end this one. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a good one. God bless.